the fight down. That guy turned it down. That guy turned it down. It was just frustrating because at what point do you get the guys that say, hey, I'm in this to be the best, and I'm in here to fight everybody and not just whoever I feel will be a best style matchup, an easier style matchup for me to try to get to the top as fast as possible.
And so you have the situation where none of the top guys want to fight you. So I mean, you're ready to go. How did you ultimately get Santiago Ponzinibbio to fight you?
It was pretty like I said, pretty hectic because we went down the list. Obviously, we called for number one Wonder Boy, but Wonder Boy, you know, he has a past because he had a good performance his last fight. He's been fighting, and you know, he's fought the champion twice, close decisions, and you know, he could say no. I understand why Wonder Boy could say no. And so, okay, we'll get Wonder Boy past. Then we go down to number 2, RDA. I've called RDA out before, and he said no. We all remember that. Obviously, Colby Covington, a fight that really makes a lot of sense, and a fight that I think a lot of people want to see. We thought we would get that fight, but he was absolutely non-responsive. Every time we asked, the UFC's like, well, we can't get him to call us back. We can't get him to even mention you. And you can see how we tweet at him. We can't even get him to respond. But I know he sees those tweets because he likes it. When a fan says, oh, Kobe would beat you or something like that, he'll like the tweet, but he would never respond. So I knew that one wasn't happening. We went down to number 4, obviously Robbie Lawler, my teammate. So that one's out of the question. We go to number 5. We asked, but we just got no word back. Nothing.
Who's number 5?
We go down to
who's number 5?
Damian Maia.
Damian Maia, right.
Damian Maia. So that we just got nothing back. So at one point I'm just like, yo, what is going on here? And so the Masvidal, we asked for Masvidal, and the UFC called us back and said that no. They said no. And so this is the thing. And let me clear that up really quick, because I know he tweeted something or something like that. First of all, my manager, what other manager do you know in the business right now that goes out for their guys as much as my manager does? My manager, you know, he gets a lot of criticism because he's willing to stand up and speak up for his guys, you know, no matter what. And a lot of guys, I see a lot of hate online, a lot of people talking trash, trying to bring up this or bring up that. That's because he's an excellent manager. Now, how many other managers you know that's signing so many high-profile guys constantly like he is? Because he goes to bat for all his guys, and he really puts it all out there. You know, when he put out that tweet, it was because all those guys were turning the fight down. Now, I didn't go out and say, oh, man, every one of these guys were scared of me. That's why they're turning the fight down. There's certain things that you could have going on. Like some guys might be hurt, might be injured, and they're just not ready to take the fight. So they're saying, no, I can't take the fight. Or some guys might be doing movies, or some guys might be doing other things that, you know, it's forcing them not to be able to take the fight. As in Masvidal's case, even Darren Till called him out to fight in Liverpool, and Masvidal said, no, I'll see you in July. So you couldn't take the fight. So y'all said no. No one said that you were scared. No one's saying this. You know, all these fighters are getting in their feelings because we're putting them on blast because they said no to the fight. All I want to do is get a fight and stay active. So, you know, guys can say whatever they want, but my manager does a damn good job. That's why he continues to sign high-profile guys and continue to be killing. He's killing the game. And he did everything in his power to help me get this fight because let's be honest. I asked for Darren Till. I've asked for Darren Till before, and we were told no because, let's be honest, from a marketing standpoint, for Dana White, he's trying to market this guy and get him to the top as fast as possible. Maybe not necessarily as fast as possible, but try to get him the favorable matchups to really help him showcase what he's good at and basically make him a star over there, essentially, like Conor McGregor. But as for that fight, I took a swing at it. You know, Darren Till, he's a guy that's kind of a young, hot-headed guy, you would say. So I knew he would respond, and he did respond. He addressed it, but nothing happened with that one as well. And so Santiago was kind of like the fallback plan. I was like, you know what? I'll settle for fighting number 10. Yes, I'm 7 or 8, whatever I'm ranked, but I'll settle for number 10 because he's a tough stand-up striker. I mean, he's good enough takedown defense to keep the fight standing. So this could be a really good fight for the fans. I said, I'll take that fight. And then the UFC comes back and says, hey, he said no. I'm like,
what?
I'm like, oh my God, what? That was the fallback plan. He's number 10. How would you say no? And basically they said he said no. And that's when you started seeing all the reports of him potentially fighting Neil Magny. I'm pretty sure that was in the works. And so my manager, you know, went to talk to the UFC again, like, what's going on? Like, how is this happening? How can we, you know, it's where eventually the next day, just like that, okay, you know what? That's the fight to make. And hats off to Santiago. He didn't have to take it. He could have took a easier way, or not necessarily easier way, but a more favorable matchup for his skill set. But he chose to step up and take the fight. So, you know, hats off to him. I think we're going to put on a hell of a show in Chile. And God willing, I'm going to be healthy in there and really get to display all my skills.
Why do you think the UFC has had so much trouble over the past couple of months getting these welterweights to fight? I mean, it's amazing. The top 10, no one has fought essentially for the entire year. And I know Woodley's, you know, nursing the injury. So, you know, it's obvious that he wasn't going to fight in the first half of the year. But like all these guys, it just seemed like for a while, everyone was squatting. No one wanted to take the risk. No one wanted to fight someone who's below them. Someone has to fight someone who's below them like you're doing here. Why do you think this particular division was giving the UFC so much trouble?
This is the biggest reason why is the fight game has changed in a sense to where it's not what it used to be. And okay. I don't know who you could kind of blame that on, but
please, I want to hear this. You know, tell us why. What happened?
There's a few guesses of people that you could kind of put that on, but the fight game has changed to where it's no longer, oh, we're the toughest is fighting the toughest to try to be the best on the planet. Now there's all these different components that go into it. Fighters no longer just managing themselves or they're, you know, they have a whole team behind them now. This fighter's got a manager, it's got an agent, it's got a Hollywood agent, or it's got this and that. And not on top of that, they've got their whole team of coaches and people like that. And also the company that we're under now, it's not just the old UFC as real as it gets hardcore. It's an entertainment company now. So everybody's trying to find a favorable matchup for themselves, and you know, I want that big name, or I want this big fight, or I want this guy here, or I want this stand-up guy. I don't want to deal with a hard-nosed wrestler that I can't take down, I can't outstrike, or I can't do this. And so all these guys are trying to pick favorable matchups, like Kobe Covington. He doesn't want to fight a guy like me. He doesn't want to fight a guy that he can't take down, a guy that can potentially take him down, a guy that he can't outstrike, a guy that can outstrike him, a guy that hits much harder than him, and a guy that never gets tired. He's like, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to wait for the title. If I'm going to get beat up by anybody, I'd rather get beat up by Woodley and at least make much more money getting beat up for the title. And so he's squatting. And then you've got you got Wonder Boys like, oh, my thumbs are hurt, my fingers are hurt. So you know what? I'm going to wait for somebody to get up here and then I'll fight them because I'm sitting at number 1. I understand that. Then you've got RDA, who's got 3 fights in the division and feels like he deserves a title shot. I mean, all these guys are kind of trying to pick and choose the favorable fights or the favorable matchups for themselves, and they're just sitting. And I'm sitting here like, Yo, I'll fight number 1. Nope. Number 2. Nope. Number 3. Nope. Number 4. Nope. 5. Nope. 6. Nope. 7. Nope. You know what? Screw it. Give me number 10.
Wow.
You know, and so that's kind of what it's been like. It's been hectic. I was just, for the moment, that I was just like, you know what? Is it even worth it continue to do this? Because I got into this to fight and try to be the best at this craft, at this competition. But now it's entertainment. Everybody just wants to be in the entertainment business. Everybody just wants to be a star without taking those tough and hard fights.
You thought about walking away?
It's crossed my mind.
Wow. It just got so frustrating.
Yeah, because like I said, I've said in a few interviews before, I didn't get into this sport because this is all I have. I can't do anything else. I can do other things. I'm educated. I went to school. I went to college. I can go do something with that. I can go get a professional job. I want to do some stuff on TV. I can do that. I can host other events. I can do things like that. I have other means of things that I can get done. The reason I do this is because I thoroughly love the competition. I thoroughly love the ability to be able to learn how to strike. I'm fighting a striker, so I'm going to learn as much as I can to where I can go out there and compete with them and beat them at their own game and dominate an opponent from start to finish. That's what I'm in love for. That's what I'm addicted to right now. You know, the story might be different when I'm 40 or 45. I could be more mellowed out and just want to watch my kids play, or grandkids or whatnot. But right now, I have that burning desire to compete at the highest level, and I've been training to do that. So when these guys are not wanting to do that, they want to duck and dodge and just hide behind a favorable matchup for them, then it kills that for me to where it's a little depressing. So instead of continue to go through that, I'm like, well, why don't I just move on and do something else?
Do you feel like in the UFC, it's almost a curse to be a dominant wrestler like you are? Because if you're the great striker like a Wonderboy or Till, they want to push you to the moon. But the wrestler is almost like packaged as the problem, the guy that we want to avoid. And we can't put this guy against the wrestler because he's going to, derail him. So does that almost work against you because you're such a great wrestler?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because
crazy.
I've been bred in as I'm such a hard-nosed wrestler, and I continue to try to hone my skills and keep as much of those skills as possible. So these other guys that are primarily strikers, that's fine. That's great. That looks cool. But if you can't stop a guy from physically grabbing you and dominating you from start to finish, you have no chance. It's the story of saying Mayweather comes in and fights McGregor. If you brought Mayweather into the octagon today and said, you can't kick McGregor, all you can do is just box Mayweather or just stand up with Mayweather with these 4-ounce gloves, you think Conor is still going to beat Mayweather? That chances gets a lot. They get a lot closer, don't they? Just like that. But with the components that Conor can take him down, beat on him, kick him in the face, things like that. Like it makes it not even fair. And so,